Hello, welcome to my podcast. This is episode 45 and this is my space where I chat about my crochet, knitting and sewing and share my works in progress and my finished projects with you. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Sam and you can find me as Betsymakes on Instagram and Ravelry here on YouTube. I'm the Sewing Mistress 2 on Twitter, or Sewing Mistress 2 on Twitter, and I have an Etsy shop as well, which is Betsymakes, and you can find the show notes for this episode at betsymakes.blogspot.co.uk, and if you want to visit my Etsy shop, you can find it by visiting www.betsymakes.co.uk. So yeah, it's good to be here and chat with you. As usual, it's been ages since I last recorded, and I should have probably done this a week ago because I need to announce the winner of my giveaway, and I said I was going to do that at the end of May. So I'm a week late on that, so I do apologise. I'm a bit lackadaisical. So I will be announcing the winner later on in the podcast, but I'm going to start first of all with some finished objects to share with you. The first one is the Love Yourself Mandala, and this is a crocheted heart-shaped mandala that I made. The pattern is called Love Yourself Mandala, and it's by Louise Shewood of the Fibre Lounge, and I purchased the pattern on Ravelry, and some of the proceeds of the pattern Louise will donate to charity, to a mental health charity, because this is helping to raise awareness about mental health issues, to get everyone talking about it so it's not so taboo, and like I say, she's raising a bit of money, so it's all in a good cause. It's a beautiful design. I've used Paintbox Cotton DK to make mine. Colours melon, champagne white, slate grey and misty grey, and I think it looks great. I'm thinking I might actually sew it to a tote bag. I've had it out as a doily on the side, but I'll make just a grey tote bag and attach it to that. I think it'd look really nice. I might do that actually. But yeah, really pleased with it's so interesting. It reminds me a little bit of freeform crochet. I mean, it's not, because I did follow her pattern, but I can imagine the way these rows are done, where you start and stop at different bits and vary the height of your stitches to get the right shape. I think that's such a lovely idea, and I can imagine, not that I've done any freeform crochet by the way, but I can imagine this is a bit of a nod to that. You start off with this circle motif here and then you work from that. So yeah, that's my first finished object I wanted to show you and share with you. I'm really pleased with that. I think Mental Health Awareness Week was some point in May. I must admit I can't remember the exact time. It might have been the last week in May. But yeah, that's that. Pop that there. The next finished thing is what I'm wearing. This is the Lulu dress by Sew Over It. I've printed the pattern off there. I bought it as a PDF pattern, which is folded up there, and then I've traced all the pieces on some tissue type paper. I often keep a little bit of fabric in the pattern when I've made something, just to remind me what I actually made. So yeah, it is a dress. You can do a short version, which is a top, And for this, I've gone in between and I've done like a tunic. I cut it out as a dress, but I did decide to shorten it. So it's got nice raglan sleeves. It's got a seam down here. Raglan 3/4 length sleeves, but again, I think there's the options in the pattern of doing different versions. I've got a bit of gathering here up to the neck, which gives you a bit of bust shaping, but the back is flat. There's no gathering on the back. That you probably can't see that actually. And like I said, so we've got the vent here with a little button, and then I've made it tunic length, and I cut a bit of fabric on the cross on the bias and stitch it to the hem to make it just a little bit different, give it a little bit of personality there rather than just turning up the hem. So yeah, I've made it in this denim, well, light chambray printed with little flowers, which I purchased from Empress Mills, and I think you can get this colour and like a lighter denim colour as well, but it's just ideal for me. I do like wearing this sort of thing with leggings, and I like 3/4 length sleeves, and it's perfect actually. I'm really pleased with it. I've worn it quite a lot and washed it, so yeah, it's a bit of a favourite. So I might have to think about making it in a different fabric, and even making just the top version, because I think that would look nice with jeans. But yeah, not too much to say except that I'm really happy with it. It was nice and straightforward, easy to follow pattern. I haven't printed off the pattern instructions. I've got them saved on my computer, and I just scroll through as I went along. But it's straightforward enough, and certainly if I made it again, I probably wouldn't need to refer to the instructions because it's easy enough to remember how to do it. But yeah, there's a nice detail here with a little opening sort of facing there underneath, and then this binding at the top, which I hand stitched on, so there's no top stitching. But yeah, I'm doing a little bit of dressmaking at the moment. I've got something on the go which I'll talk about in works in progress as well. So yeah, a few new bits going on the dressmaking side of things. But I quite like, it's a little bit peasant top-ish, but not quite. I quite like the fact that it is flat here. I quite like that. It's very comfortable and fairly cool. It's a funny day weather-wise here in Bedfordshire, UK. It's been raining this morning and it's a little bit breezy and overcast. I hope the light's okay. We have had some lovely sunny weather. Yesterday was nice, but today's a bit more dull. It's just an ordinary day really. So that's my second finished thing, my Lulu dress. And then my third finished item is my True Friends socks. Now, I'm actually beginning to wonder, had I finished these in my last podcast? Do you know, I don't know. I can't remember if they were a finished thing or work in progress. What am I like? Anyway, let's just assume they weren't finished before and talk about them as they are. So these are a pattern of mine, which is now available on Ravelry, the True Friends socks, and they're ankle socks with a little contrast cast on here and a contrast toe and a little bit of pretty laciness in the foot there. I'm going to take it off the blocker a minute because I just want to show you the toe. It's like an arrow toe really. It's quite pointed like that, but I find that it fits quite nicely on my foot. So I was quite pleased with that. Yeah, I might be able to see the pattern, stitch pattern a bit easier there. So these came from the idea of using my friend's sock set that I sell as hand-dyed yarn in the Etsy shop. The set is 2 50-gram skeins of the main colour and then 2 10-gram minis. And the idea is if you purchase the set, you could either keep it all for yourself and then you'd have 120 grams worth of yarn, or it's easy to split up, keep 50 grams of the main colour and 10 grams of the contrast for yourself and give the other half of it to your friend. It's nice to share, isn't it? So the sock pattern I designed so that you can make it out of half of the set, the 50. So 50 grams. You use less than 50 grams actually, just a little bit less, and you use you've got enough to do the contrast. I've done the sock sizes as small, medium and large. These are a medium, which fit me well. I've got a size 5 foot and they are UK 5, which is European 38, and they are 8 inches circumference around the foot. I got my my daughter to model them for me so I could take photographs to put in the pattern, and she's more of a 4.5, a 37, and she's a tiny little thing, so there's not much of her, and these were just a tiny bit too big for her, so I think will knit her some the size small, because she said she liked them, and they're cute because they are ankle socks. You probably could make them a bit longer with the amount of yarn that I had left, but and you could make a full leg. You would just repeat the pattern. It's very simple. You would just go on for longer before you started to do the heel. They are cuffed down, so you start off, you cast on with your contrast colour, and then you continue along. So yeah, this colour is the Rupert Gibbon and Spider that I dyed up, and I do like the colours. I like the fact that you can see the yarn on just the stocking stitch section of underneath as well. I think it looks really nice, and yeah, I actually want to make some more of those. I'll make some for Mia, I think. Yeah, I'll see if she wants some. So yeah, that's my finished items. I will now go on to my works in progress. So now I'd like to talk about the projects I'm working on at the moment, and I have to confess I've got quite a lot to share, and there are some other things that I won't be sharing today as well, because I've got quite a lot of things on the go, and the fact of the matter is I've started to feel a bit overwhelmed by everything. Whilst I am still crafting away, I don't think I'm doing as much as I perhaps usually do. I don't know, I seem to be quite distracted by other things, because the weather's been so nice. I've been for lots of nice walks, and you know, that's sort of taken a bit of time, but it's been really enjoyable, and I don't know, just been watching TV and stuff. But anyway, I will talk about things. I still am knitting and crocheting and stuff. I haven't lost my mojo completely, but I think this time of year when it's summer and you know it's nice outside, I like to take lots of pictures when I go on my walks, so I've been doing that sort of thing. So I'll show you a pair of socks I'm knitting. I'll show you the bag, actually, it's really cute. This embroidered project bag I picked up at a yarn festival I went to in Westminster at the end of last year. It's made by Martine from Cheshire. It's got lovely embroidery, and the pin here, the B pin, I actually bought from the gift shop at Woburn Safari Park, where I visited in it wasn't half term. Yeah, it was actually. Oh well, anyway, it was a day that my little girl had off school, so for teacher training or something, and we went to Woburn Safari Park, 'cause it's not too far from us, and I bought the little bee pin from the gift shop there. Anyway, inside is some socks I'm knitting for my eldest daughter Sophie. So this is the first one. I've just got one on the go at the moment. Quite often I do like to knit the pair concurrently, but not this time. I'm just knitting one at a time. The yarn, let me talk about that first. This is the skein, and it's Paintbox yarns, which is the Love Crochet or Love Knitting. Oh no, that's not it. That says Cotton DK. It is Paintbox. It's their sock yarn, and the colour is Love Note, but that's a different ball band. But yeah, so it's sort of self-striping Fair Isle effect that you get from the dyed yarn. I've got the heel done, just working down the foot. Sophie's got bigger feet than me. She's, I think, a UK 7. So I've got her foot measurement on a bit of cardboard somewhere. So I'll just knit until it's big enough. No contrast yarn in this, just literally knitting from the ball, and very plain. I've done 15 rows of 1x1 twisted rib, and then I've done 6 inches in total of just the stocking stitch, and I've just done a basic heel flap and a square turn there. Finished my decreases, and again I'm just knitting round and round now until I get long enough to finish it off. And I'll do the toe. So I often take this to work with me and do a bit in my lunch half hour. So they are quite slow growing. I'm actually going to give them to her for her birthday. She's 21 in August, so I've got a bit of time to finish them. And I keep saying to her, what would you like for your birthday? And she says, oh, I don't know, I'll think about it. So she hasn't got back to me. So hopefully she'll think of something. I might just give her some money because she's going on a big trip to Australia in September. So she might get some Australian dollars from me maybe. But I've got something little to wrap up from her. And she's very knit worthy. She has a pair of hand knitted socks that I made for her quite a while ago, and she loves them, so I'm more than happy to make her a pair. And I did decide to use what's the word I'm thinking of, rather than hand dyed indie dyed yarn, commercial yarn, that's the one. I did decide to use a commercial yarn because quite honestly I can't trust her to wash them with care. So these will be fine in the washing machine. And although I must admit I do wash my hand knitted items in the washing machine, but I do choose a gentle cool cycle. So, but you know, this will be fine even if she washes at 40 degrees or maybe even 60 degrees. Actually, I've never tried it, but they'll probably be okay. So yeah, that's my first work in progress that I thought I'd show you. My next one is, this has been going on a little while. I have shown you this before. This is the Ziggy Interrupted Scarf, and it's a pattern by Sandra, who's Cherry Heart. Sandra put, actually I'm undoing my stitches as I'm doing this, so I need to be careful. Although it's crochet, so it doesn't matter too much. So it's got the, like I said, I've shown you this before. Let me show you the right side. It's got the little mini granny squares. There's a panel of that, and then there's the panel of the zigzag in different yarns, and the next panel of the little motifs, another panel of zigzag. I've done another panel of the motifs, and then I'm on the third zigzaggy panel. There's four zigzaggy panels and 5 little granny square panels. So I'm working my way through this. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lovely relaxing project. I did talk about the different yarns last time, but very quickly, this is Sarah Texture Crafts. This is some I dyed ages ago. I call it Betsy Peach just for reference, but I dyed it when I first started dyeing, so it's been in my stash since then. That one is the Wool Barn, and that one's got a little bit of sparkle in it. I think it's called Mist something. This one is Herb's Black Regina, and it's called Remember Me, and this one is Life in the Long Grass Rose Hip. So 5 different yarns in there, and yeah, let's see, it's going to be nice, isn't it? Obviously I've got a little while to go yet, but yeah, it's going to be nice when it's done. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's going to look fantastic when it's blocked as well. I did block this bottom section because I was worried. What I've actually done is I'm using a 3mm crochet hook, and I used that to make the first panel of the motifs, but I was worried that they're a bit small and a bit tight, so I'm using a 3.5 for all the other motifs, but still the 3mm hook for the zigzag pattern bit. And I did cheat because the design is 2 colour motifs, but I cheated and I've just done each one in 1 colour because they're so tiny anyway. So, oh yeah, it's going to look really nice blocked, isn't it? So yeah, delighted with how that's going. I think I probably, if I'm honest, would say I should be further on with it and perhaps have finished it by now, but I haven't, so there you go. But very much enjoying that. I think with the warm weather we've been having as well, you don't have the impetus to get it finished to wear it because it's too warm to wear scarves at the moment, so that perhaps is part of the situation as well. I don't know. I think I'll talk about my next crochet work in progress. I'm using Paintbox yarns again. I've got the brown one here, colour 110, and this golden colour as well, which I'm not quite sure what that is. I'll show you what I'm making. Let me hold it up. There we go. So it's sunflowers. Lots of sunflowers. Oh wow, actually not that many. I'm using like a bubbly stitch to make the centre in the brown, and then I'm joining them, big ones and the mini ones. Mini ones are cute, aren't they? As I go on the petals. So this is a pattern I'm working on. This pattern will be available, and what this is for me, it's to go on the back of my sofa actually. I'm not going to go a lot bigger than this. It's 5 sunflowers across, and then I'm going to do a 4th row of the big sunflowers. So once I've done the one to complete this row here, I'll add 5 on the bottom to make 4 rows here and 5 across. So yeah, like I say, I'm working on the pattern as well, so I'll be writing that up soon. So this shouldn't be too long before it's out. It's quite a time consuming project though. It takes quite a while to do these centres, and when I first did it, it's actually an idea from a friend of mine, Ali, who does a lot of crochet, and she crochets for other people a lot. She will make things for customers. She's very nice of her, and it was her idea actually to do this, so she's making one at the same time. But when we first started it, we weren't going to have the little ones in the middle, but we decided that the hole between them all was quite big, so I added the little mini ones, and I can't actually holding it up like that. I really like it with the mini ones in there. So yeah, but it does take ages to make these things. So it's DK weight yarn. I'm using a 4mm hook. Sometimes with DK I will go down to the 3.5 because I'm fairly loose at crocheting, but it suits this pattern to have a fairly loose gauge anyway. So a 4mm hook, which is what's recommended for DK yarn, particularly this type. Yeah, it's 4mm on there. Yeah, so it suits this. I'm not planning on doing a border, nothing like that. It's literally going to be that at the right size, and it will just sit on the back of my safe. I mean, it's once you've got the idea of how and where to join all your petals, you could go on forever. And I was thinking actually you could do a nice daisy one with yellow centres and white petals. That would look nice as well. Or a Gerber one with sort of dark black centres and lots of different colour petals, fuchsia, bright fuchsia colours, and yeah, that would look nice. But I'm sticking to the sunflowers, and so yeah. So I'll let you know when that pattern is available. You could also, I was talking to Ali about it, and I could say you could make it as the front of a cushion. That would look quite nice as well, wouldn't it? You could sew it to the front of a cushion. So that's another thing I've got on the go. That does seem to be taking me ages. I don't really know why. So the next two things I've got are sewing projects. So I'll show you my dressmaking project that I referred to earlier. I wanted to have a jumpsuit, playsuit type thing for myself, and a lot of them that you can buy in the shops are elasticated waists, and I don't do things on the waist because I don't have a waist, it doesn't exist. And I thought, oh, I'm sure I'll be able to find a pattern, and I did actually Google search jumpsuit dressmaking pattern or something like that, and this one came up, the Yari jumpsuit, and it's by True Bias, truebias.com. But I actually purchased it from the Draper's Daughter. Yeah, Draper's Daughter. Which I hadn't heard of before, so I was really glad I found it, because I also bought the fabric I'm using from there as well, and it's lovely, some really nice things on there, so I'm really glad I found the drapersdaughter.com or .co.uk, whatever it is, I can't remember. I'm making View C, which is the sleeveless version but still long. I'm not going for the short version. I'm going to go for the long legs and then roll them up so that they're kind of 3/4 length. But I've gone for the sleeveless version to start with because I sort of want it for the hot weather, for holiday and things like that. And that's the one I've gone for. And the fabric I've got, which like I said I got from the Draper's Daughter as well, is Merchant and Mills. I think it's called Slate Grey. I could be wrong actually, I might have to put something down below just to confirm the colour of this. It's quite a indigo blue colour, I think, rather than grey. It's a bit misleading, the colour name. However, I've still used grey thread on it because I want to bring out the grey tones. I was going to use navy blue, but it didn't sort of sit right, so I'm actually using a grey thread. Now, I haven't done that much. I cut this out yesterday. It's in this lovely Merchant and Mills linen, did I say that? And I've just sewn, I've made the pockets and attached them to the front bit. So it's not much to see, but I've done a little bit. There's a pocket there. And the front section. think that would be nice. Hopefully nice and cool for the summer. Nice and easy to wear again. Comfort is the name of the game these days for me. But yeah, I quite like the other sleeved version. I'm not doing these belt bits either actually. They're optional and I've left them on because, like I say, I've got a non-existent waist. I haven't got any buttons for it yet, so I might look on Textile Garden for buttons because I'd like something nice, you know. This is beautiful fabric, but it's not cheap. I'd ordered the pattern and that came through the post, and there was a 15% off code that came with it, which was great, which is what I used to buy the fabric. Because, I don't know if they're in here actually. Oh yeah, they are. What they do is they send you, is Karen, who's a draper's daughter, there you go, it is drapersdaughter.com. So there's the card. A lovely little handwritten note on the back. And what she does, which is really clever, she uses the cards to put swatches of other fabrics on. So, different ones. That's Moonstone, and this is Merchant Mills Tinsel Twist in Rose Dust, that one is, which is nice. That is nice actually. Yeah, that's lovely. They're all lovely. Atelier Brunette, Moonstone in Ochre. But this is the swatch of the Merchant Mills that I thought, oh yes, that's what I want to make my jumpsuit out of. So yeah, that's a very clever idea because I wasn't quite sure where I was going to get my fabric from, but when these came through plus the 15% code, I thought, yep, I'll go back to Draper's Daughter. So excellent. And Karen's really good at communication, because I wasn't quite sure which was the fabric. Like I said, the colour name's quite misleading, and she's very helpful. And so yeah, I was very pleased with that, so I'm glad I found her site. And yeah, I'll show you how I get along with that as I go. So that's my dressmaking project. Honestly, I don't know, hopefully what you can see around me is relatively tidy. I've got my collecting dust blanket on the ladder here. You can see my vintage sewing machine, a couple of toys, my lamb and my Betsy hair there. This is a crochet bag I made centuries ago, no pattern or anything. So hopefully it looks quite serene and quiet, but actually if I look round here, it's an absolute bomb site. I just don't have enough space. I'm struggling to keep things tidy, and it is irritating me a bit. Anyway, I'm just going to get a drink and I'll be back shortly with my next project. That's better. So the next thing I want to show you is a patchwork quilt I'm making at the moment, and it actually has been languishing for a long time in my cupboard, and every now and again I think of it and think, oh, I must dig that quilt out. It was just in blocks. It's a log cabin. Let me show you actually so you know what I'm talking about. It's a log cabin quilt. So I just made some of these blocks, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 of them. And every now and again I think about it. I'm calling it my nature quilt because it's got insects on. Insects there and bees, birds and leaves. There's a little bee there. Yeah, in the golds and the teals and creams. Yeah, so it's been hanging around for goodness knows how long, years literally. And then a couple of people started doing them. When I say started them, I started to notice a couple of people. Olivia from This Handmade Life, she makes them. Oh, she makes beautiful ones, which are really inspiring. And lovely Jules from So Sweet Violet made one as well. So I thought to myself, you know, use that inspiration to get your project finished. So I dug my blocks I've made out on all the other strips. What's really nice about log cabin quilts is I started off with a 3-inch square, cut this square 3" and then cut strips at 2.5 inches wide, but not to a definite length. And then I just sit at the machine and start sewing, like, so that one to that one, and then that one to those two, and then that one to those two, and that one to, and continuing all the way around. And I'd sew the strip and I just trim it straight when I got to the end. And it's great because you just literally, you don't have to sort of cut, once they're cut to the correct width, you don't have to cut them to the correct length. You just trim it as you sew it to your block. You can go as big or as small as you want, I suppose. I've done 3. After I've done the middle square, I've done 3 strips. So they're round about, I think they're round about 11 inches or something like that. I finished the blocks. I might open it right out. So I've made I finished the quilt top, as you can see. It's not massive, which I didn't want it to be massive. It's just a nice size. It's probably sort of single bed size. Oh, I love it. I love the colours. It's gorgeous. So I've made the quilt sandwich, as you call it. So I've got my quilt top there. I've got the lovely natural bamboo wadding, batting I think it's called there. And then I've got this it's not completely plain, it's cream, but it's got little floral design on it. I don't even know if you can see it actually. And I've pinned it all together with my curved, you can't tell they're curved, but the safety pins, that's the word I'm looking for. And in my wisdom, I have decided to hand quilt this, and I'm hand quilting it with some silk thread that I bought from Empress Mills, the same place I got the fabric for this dress. So it's 100% silk thread in a ivory colour, and you might be able to see, let me show you. Yeah, so I've started quilting the diagonal, so I'm quilting that way, and then that way as well. And so the distance between the quilt lines are from there to there, so I may put another one in between, but I'm going to do all these lines that go through the middle of the blocks first and see if I need to do it. I'll see. Let's shake it back. We'll just see how it's beginning to look. And on the front, I've drawn all over my quilt, look. So I can see where to stitch. I've drawn on it. But don't worry, I've used a friction pen. And friction pens, you can draw on fabric, and then when you put the iron on it, hot iron on it or warm iron on it, it just disappears. So it's perfect to make marks. So I'm really happy with this. I was half thinking about sending the quilt off to get it long arm quilted. That can be a little bit expensive, but I was thinking, oh, shall I? And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to hand quilt it, because I feel I like the idea of it being more traditional and more handmade, because I just like my handmade stuff. So yeah, that's coming on quite well. I'm really enjoying, I'm looking forward to getting this finished actually. I think it might even go in my front room. It might sort of be folded up on the back of my chair or something like that, on the sofa. We'll see. Yeah, really loving this. My favourite, well, my two favourite fabrics are, here's where they're together. My two favourite fabrics are this one and, no, that one, which has got the bees on it. Can't see it that well. You can see it better there. Yeah. So I'm using this fabric for my binding when I get to that stage. I've got some that I'm going to cut for the binding to go around the edge. Yay! I love it. So I will continue with that. So I think I'm going to come back in a few minutes to talk about a few goodies that I got in the post. So I think I will share those with you. The giveaway and some stuff I've got in the Etsy shop. So stay tuned, I'll be back in a moment. So I'm going to announce the winner of my giveaway. So this has been running in the Ravelry group that I have, which is Betsymakes podcast, and I asked the question if everyone could leave a comment to tell me who their best friend is, whether it's their husband, their wife or partner, whether it's their sisters, brothers, cousins, pets, you know, dogs and cats can be people's best friends, or whoever their friend is. And it's been fantastic reading through the comments on there. It's quite emotional actually, and funny and really sweet, and I've really enjoyed reading about people's friends. It's been really heartwarming actually. It's been lovely. So thanks ever so much to everyone that entered. I've got 106 comments on there. Yes. Anyway, I think 106 or 107. Anyway, the prize for this giveaway, which I did talk about in my last podcast, is a digital version of the pattern Ziggy Interrupted Scarf, which is the work in progress I shared with you earlier. This is the pattern designed by lovely Sandra Paul, who is my best fibre friend ever, and it's one of her lovely designs. As well as gifting me the pattern, so I'm making my version, she's also donated one as a giveaway prize. So that will be digitally gifted to the winner. And the other prize is the chevron bag, tote bag I've made as well, which has got the grey handles and it's got a pocket inside there. So that's the prize. There might be a few other little bits in there as well. And I've just been over to check my thread, and the winner, the number picked randomly by me, was number 86, and that's Colourful Coda, and that's Sally, and she's in Louisiana. And she posted a photo of her best friend who unfortunately died 10 years ago, I think. That's Gina, and Sally misses Gina so much. And Sally, I'm really glad you've won, and I can send you a gift across the pond. And I'd like to send you all my love and give you a big virtual hug, because I know you miss your friend a lot. But congratulations for winning the prize. I'll get this sent off to you, probably it'll go in the post next week now, and I'll also get Sandra to gift you the Ziggy Interrupted crochet pattern as well. So well done, Sally. So that's the giveaway done. I'll share with you now, excuse me for bending over, some bits and pieces that came through the post. I think I've said before, I don't always share acquisitions or goodies, but I did think this time I would. I particularly wanted to show you this. It's a little embroidery hoop with daisies on, and it's so beautiful. Let me bring it really close. Look at that. Look at the beautiful stitching on there. Isn't that lovely? And I like the teal coloured linen that's used as well. It's all neat at the back. And this was made by Helen Wood, who's Woodworks Designs on Etsy. It's spelled WOODWORCS. And I will show you the card. There we go. And I purchased this. I actually saw it when I saw it on Instagram when I was, you know, I went to the search button and up comes lots of suggestions, and I saw it there. I thought, oh, that's so lovely. And when I realised it was for sale, I thought, oh, got to have that. I've actually got an embroidery project. Do you know what? I'm going to show you. I wasn't going to, but I think I will, because it's only just here. As I said, I'm living in a mess. So this is quite spontaneous actually, because I wasn't going to do this, but this is what I'm working on. I say what I'm working on, what I have been working on ages ago and haven't touched for goodness knows how long. It's a lovely bee. It is. There's my pack with all my threads in. Let me give you a bit of info, because I'm sure you'll want to know. Florals and floss, hand stitched embroidery. There we go, there's the finished. So I purchased the pattern. I'm pretty sure it's an Etsy shop as well, but I will put the link in the show notes. So visit to see my show notes. You need to go to betsymakes.blogspot.co.uk. But I'll try and link. But florals and floss. And you purchase the pattern, and it's got all the details in there. And so yeah, I have not got very far at all, but I love it. Little buzzy bee. Absolutely love it. So yeah. So that was a spontaneous little extra bit that I wasn't planning on doing, but I've done it now. It's just that this one made by Helen has obviously inspired me again. So yeah, that's really cute. That's so cute. So do visit her shop, because actually I think she's only just started, and she's got some beautiful bits and pieces on there. So yeah, highly recommend that. Seems very lovely. And I also took part in Kelly Lay Family Yarn, her Lay Family Yarns and Friends thing that she does. Each month she collaborates with a yarn dyer. I was February, and the yarn dyer supplies 3 20-gram minis, and Kelly dyes up, or one of her family, 3 20-gram minis, and you get it sent to you. So the one I opted for was Beehive Yarns. It's a lovely bee progress keeper there, and 3 gorgeous minis called Audrey, and the colours are based on some Liberty fabric, which has been sewn into a lavender sachet by lovely Jules from So Sweet Violet. And there's the back and the front, a little lavender sachet, and that's where you get the colour inspiration from. And then these are the Lay Family Yarn ones. So you get those. So altogether you get 6, which is 120 grams. It's really good actually. And there was a penguin chocolate bar in there, but my son had that. And but there was some calm, what's this, spice, chamomile and vanilla with, I can't read that as I haven't got my glasses on, roasted chicory root. Oh, I might have that in a bit actually. Oh, and a little tea light as well that came with it. So yeah, that was because you order it a month in advance, and so I'd ordered it and paid for it, and then promptly forgot about it, which is great, because then when it comes through the post, it's a surprise and it's like a present. It was a present to myself, because June is my birthday month, so I wanted to get that. And I've really built up on my minis at the moment again, and I'm still got an old blanket, crocheted mitered square blanket that I need to finish, that I'm not going to think about just now because I've got too many other things on the go, but I should be thinking about other scrappy projects, because I've got so many minis, so many beautiful minis. So yeah, a just drop the yarn card there. So yeah, that's a few things I got through the post this week, which was a lovely surprise. Really gorgeous things. My leaves and lace crochet blanket, I'm not showing that today because whilst it's still a work in progress, slowly progressing, but I've talked about it a lot, so I'll wait until I start joining my motifs and show you that hopefully next time. Yeah, and I've got another crochet thing on the go. Let's stay calm. Like I say, I feel a bit overwhelmed by all the things I've got going on, which is my own fault. And also, as well as having a lot of projects on the go, I've got a lot of projects in my head that I really want to get started, and I'm just not getting through my other things to get them finished so I can start something new. So for whatever reason, like I said, I don't know. But I talk about that as if it's a problem, but it's not really. At the end of the day, I'm still enjoying all my bits and pieces that I'm doing, and I've always got a lot on the go anyway, so there's no, you know, no problems really. But the problem is the mess, actually. That is a problem. I really do need to tidy up this place and get a bit more organised, because I think that is not helping with feeling a bit overwhelmed, because I just got so much stuff around me everywhere. So what I want to talk about now is bits and pieces I've got in my Etsy shop. So do a bit of Betsy business and show you my wares. If you're not too fussed about that, I'll say goodbye now. Cheerio, see you soon I hope. Take care of yourself. But if you do want to stay with me, I'll show you what I've got in the shop. So this little cube here, fabric cube, which is what I got the minis in that I've just shown you. I've got some of these in the shop. Now I've got the mustard version, which is lined in the nice dotty cotton fabric, and I've also got, pick this one up, this has got stuff in as well, which I'll talk about in a minute, a grey version, which again has got a cotton print lining. So they're just canvas cubes. They're quite small, but not too small. They've got no fastening, no zips, no handles, and they haven't got a pocket. I know I said last time that I was going to put pockets in project bags, but I wanted, the idea for these was to keep them as simple and as basic as I could in regards to how much manpower goes into making them, because it's the labour costs really that make some handmade things quite expensive, and I just wanted to have something that was simple, fairly quick to make, still really nice. I have to say I really like these. That wasn't too, I could price up quite reasonably. So yeah, I've got my label in there, completely square at the bottom. I mean, you could have it like that, I suppose, if you wanted to as well. But I must admit, I do like to turn the top down to have the lining showing. So yeah, I've got the mustard one and the grey one at the moment. Nice to think I can do a few more colours of that and just have it as an ongoing thing. And what you can see inside the grey one is some DK weight yarn in those colours. So I just thought I might try dyeing up a bit of DK. I've called the base Perfect Sweater. I've got the Perfect Sock is my fingering weight merino nylon blend, and this is Perfect Sweater, which is 100% merino superwash. This colour is Strawberry Cream. This colour, hang on, let me do this one first. This is Old Gold, which is lovely. I've got Deep Lilac here, and this one is Grey Mint, which is quite unusual. I'd mixed dyes to get this colour, and I mixed some dyes together to get this colour. And at first I thought something had gone wrong, because they seem to separate out a bit, the grey and the green, but actually I love it. I really, really love that one. So a very happy accident actually. So yeah, grey mint, I really like that. And yeah, so it's DK weight, 225 metres per each 100 gram skein, and 100% superwash merino. So they're in the shop. I've dyed up 5 of each colour, because if you do want to make a sweater of it, you'll need a decent amount. But I would be prepared to do, if somebody needed more than what was left in the shop, I would do a special dye up for them. But I have got my sock yarn in the shop. I've got Aegean Sea, I've got Mother's Day, and I've got Winter. I've got some nice bits in there. I've got one Secret Life of Bees left. My bee obsession will continue to the day I die, no doubt. Yeah, so I've got selections of fingering weight yarns in the shop as well. So yeah, lots of nice things, particularly like Mother's Day. I said that I might try this colourway on DK weight, which I still might do. So pink lilac. So yeah, that's all I've got to chat about today. I have no idea how long this episode is going to be. I'm not sure how long I've been sitting here really. A good hour, I would say. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what I've shown you today, and I do appreciate you watching and joining me. I hope the light's been alright for you and everything else. So take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye.